Very good morning. Today we would like to discuss about the pivot table. So we know that we have two kind of tables in general we deal with. One with two-dimensional table, which is rows and column, and other with this pivot table, which is a kind of a three-dimensional table. We can see that with the three examples with Excel, PowerBI, and Snowflake. So the first thing is you can see a data here that is with the Excel, and we are going to transform this two-dimensional to three-dimensional table. For that, you need to select the table and then insert, click on the pivot table, and the select range. I'm just going to experiment the same table. So I'm selecting a table here to experiment here. I'm selecting the ranges here so that I can see my data here. Yeah, now we are ready. The pivot is ready. Now I'm just going to drag this object over here and drag this object here. See, one thing is I'm just putting this here, and then I'm just drag this row to account actually. Now you can see this. Now you can see this a kind of a pivot table. The thing is that when you're seeing this two-dimensional table here, we can see the team number, the role, and with the pivot table, we are displaying in row column wise, and we can just put a count on each of the team member and the role they are playing. And overall, we can see the grand total by architect, by BA, developer, and manager, and we can see this. There are overall count of this total. The advantages is that we are seeing this data in a three-dimensional. And what is about this? It's a kind of a cube. What kind of a cube is it? You can see this. This is the one, and this look like our a cube, and we can able to do slice and dice with our pivot table. The slice is nothing but we can select a particular column or a row that tells about this slicing. By the word itself, we can understand it. And the dicing is nothing but whatever you're selecting a rows or a column that will aggregate. Depends either by default it's a sum or max or min, and that will be your dicing. And the drill down thing is when you're going with the summary level to the detail level, where your data gets more and more detail, and roll up your summary, your detailed data rolled up to a summary level. And if you are going across with the multiple dimension, you can go with a drill across on the same hierarchy. So now we can able to see thus how the pivot table look like. And the advantages is that we can able to do that. So how we can able to do this? We can go to design and this pivot table, and this I'm just putting a price. If I want to the max of value, let's say, let me take a example here. I'm just using this example for you to show how it is. I'm just giving an insert and pivot table selected. I'm selecting the rows here, and I'm selecting the place order here so that I can see the pivot table here, and I'm just dragging my employee and my salary. Now you can see this, right? And you can see this how it is. And let's say you can see the value here. The grand total is 13,000 here. For better address understanding, I can just remove here and place it somewhere here. So to see this, and you can see this. If I want to do any kind of an aggregate, it is very easy here. If I want to see the max of the salary, you can see the 5,000 is the max of salary of the particular employee, and this is nothing but the aggregate. the operations. So you can see the grand total. This is aggregate. If I'm just doing any selections of any of these, either of any one of the employee or together more than one employee, this is called a dicing actually. So with that Python, with a kind of a pivot table, we can able to do slice and dice in a very easy manner. It's a very faster and it's give a kind of overview about how the data, the pattern is that. And let's say if I just want to do any kind of a formatting here, I don't want to see this one. Instead, I want a format. Yes, it is. You can able to do that. You can select this appropriate one and right click and you can go to the format options, number formats, and then you can select the customer custom format and then select this tick mark, and you can see this also. We can able to see this the same thing I did here in a sample with the same. I replicated the scenario here, and also there is quite interesting with Excel. We do have the pivot by. You can see this. This is a table. This is a table name where we can do the pivot and with a max value, and it will display the max value by pivot, and we can able to see the group by also with the sum. So this is straightforward with Excel. We can able to achieve it, and this is quite interesting as well. And it's very easy. Once you done a similar kind of an exercise with the other matrices, it's very easy for you. Now we can go the second part with Power BI. So Power BI, what I'm supposed to do is let me copy this value here and copy this value. So what I'm just going to do is let me enter my data. Since I am using the 2 by 2 matrix, I'm just copying here. Select the cell, paste it here, and I can give a name here as a new table. I'm just loading here. Now the data is loaded. I need to apply changes, and you can see this. So our pivot, we do have the matrix is our pivot table here, and you can sorry, and you can just put your role or team member and whatever. You can give your values here, and you can do a sum actually count of listing or count. So now you'll get a kind of a typical the same thing. And let me put like this, and whatever you are seeing here in the our Excel document, it's we replicated as it is actually. Now you can see this the same this area we replicated here actually. We replicated in our PowerBI. So this is pretty good easy to replicate in our PowerBI. And next followed by how we can do this pivot in Snowflake. That's our next thing. For our this is a sample query I attached to you. And what we are actually doing is we do have a pivot function in Snowflake. You can see this line pivot, and we are getting the array, and for the period of L1, L2, L6. This is the period. And with the CT, what we are doing is we are making the product details and the sales and the respective rows, and we are make a union of that, so that this constitute a data base data for us, and we are selecting the product, and we are making use of this column name, how it look like. And once we done the query, we can able to replicate the query like this, and we can see this right. This is a kind of a perfect pivot table here. On the rows, you can able to see the sales. On the sales on the column, you can be able to see the sales and the profit and everything. On the rows, you can able to see the x1, x2 like that. Actually, this is very straightforward. The good thing is that with the having pivot, it is very easy for us to compare between rows and column. And also we can pivot and unpivot in Excel. Similar, like we do have a function with this Snowflake itself. So far we covered how the pivot we can able to do in Excel and Power BI and Snowflake. And let me share this link as well. And if you just go ahead with the SQL with this link, and you can find this the same pivot functionality which we can able to do with Snowflake and Power BI and with the DAX also, with the Power Query and with Zebra, and how we can do the same pivot functionality with PySpark and this thing. As we know that Microsoft Fabric supports Spark, PySpark, Spark SQL, and Python Pandas. I just mentioned here. This is applicable as well as for data science as well. And also, I mentioned the link over here with the kind of Excel, how we can do the pivot and the tips and the formatting. And this is very basic. And if you go through each and link, you will get to know how to effectively we can make use of this pivot table here. And the last part I mentioned on this chat GPT, and how we can do that with the help of chat GPT to create the pivot tables. And this is a presentation I updated here. And if you go through the each and every of the link, this give you a lot of insights to you, and give a clear picture how the same pivot which is done at the multiple level. For now, I will go ahead with the one DAX formula, how they give the presented the pivot. And for DAX, we have summarize and summarize column, those two functionality which deals with this. And they given a kind of a detail with a kind of a DAX formula here, how to do that with the pivot here with the model also. This is a sample data. Using that sample data, the summarized column they have created here with this formula, and you can see the result here. With the summarize, we can give the appropriate the table name and your dimension, and you are doing the sum of that. And with the summarized column, we are doing the same similar thing. The one thing is we can do a filter here, which is nothing but a slicer. You can tell what we made a slicer, right? Slicer on the column 2013. So this is the column here, and this will give you a pretty good idea about that, how we can able to do the pivot operations there. And the same thing if you do it at the Power Query. Yes, this would be the document. You can go through this, how we can do the pivot and pivot over here. This give you a step-by-step process. Anyone can they can able to replicate the steps over here by following this. You can able to replicate the steps here. And the similar kind of a thing we have given how to do pivot with the Spark Python pandas. I think this would be the Python pandas. You can see the pandas how it is. We need to import the pandas library, and you need to give these appropriate codes. This is straightforward. You can see we read sales data, and we are just invoking the pivot table. That's it. And this will taken care by this single line, and you can see the pivot of the total sales by city here. And you can see how it is in the Excel, the same similar function where you need to do the similar mimic the similar thing with the in Excel. So this give you an ample idea of that how to do that, and this is with the multiple columns how we can do achieve the pivot here actually. I think hope this would be a very nice presentation, so that everyone can look into that. If you go through this link, I hope it would be a great learnings or a kind of an insight for you. I hope. Thank you for your time uh, on this presentation. Thank you so much.